Welcome friends. This is CSE webinar series brought to you by Kingmakers IAS Academy. I'm Madhavi G, faculty at Kingmakers IAS Academy. This is a webinar about 2019 GS prelims analysis. So we discussed in part 1 and part 2 up to 50 questions on the answers. Not basically went into the crux of the answers because in 20 you will not be getting the 2019 questions. So answers is not very important now for the analysis. So analysis basically includes understanding the areas of each question, sources of each question, nature of each question, and a strategy to answer. In strategy of answering, we saw 4 techniques, that is knowledge, elimination, logic, and wise case. And we used all these. Used this how to. We saw how to use these 4 techniques to come up with the right answer. And we also analyzed the subject, how the questions were asked in history, geography, environment, art and culture, economics, polity and governance, current affairs, and science and technology. So we saw how the analysis were made. So please do watch part 1 and part 2 to make this session more useful. Before starting with the session, so I move on to question number 51. So going with the 51st question, so I stopped with the 50th question, which is a science and technology based question. So it is about hepatitis B, hepatitis C and all. So maybe this question is confusing, but the national hepatitis program was in current affairs. So they asked you the basics about this hepatitis virus. So there are different types of virus, A, B, C, D. So this you must know, but it was in the current affairs compilation. So I got, I made this question correct. Okay, because I remembered, though vaguely, I was able to come up with the right answer. So this you must remember certain things. You have to make last minute notes and recall. So this last minute notes is have to be very handy for you. So science and technology, environment, say for example, current affairs, any facts, mostly the facts, I'll make it as my last minute notes and I'll revise it again and again so that I will not forget my concepts, but I will forget the facts. So in case of facts, I'll literally forget everything, even in art and culture and all. So I literally make all this as a last minute notes and keep it for myself, like like a play card. I keep it like I make a A4 sheet itself into 4 page or 4 slips, and the slips I'll be learning as the last minute notes. So this is where that is very important for you. So 2 days before, 1 month before, 2 months before, you have to repeatedly revise these facts. That is very important. And now coming with the 51st question. This is a history question, so I thought I'll make it very fresh in the part 3. So with reference to Mughal India, what is all the differences between Jagirdar and Zamindars? So this is a conceptual based question. See here, the concept Jagirdar and Zamindar being asked. This terms you already know, you are very familiar, but still you have to know what is this concept. So there are a number of things. Say for example, there are something called Chaut, Sardesh Mugi, different types of taxes like this. And there are a number of name of the administrators, okay, like Mir Bakshi and all. So like this, there are terms as well as concepts like Jagirdar and Zamindar. Though these terms and concepts may not be defined in the NCRT, the NCRT does just have the hint of what is Jagirdar and what is Zamindar. So if NCRT does not have the conceptual in-depth detail about any of the concepts, you must explore it. Say for example, what is Chaut, what is Sardesh Mugi? If at all, if you have gone to the classes, they would have told you what is it. But if not, you just have read the NCRT, you must explore it in the internet and Google will come handy for you. So you must know all this. So this question is a little trickier. Here, see, Jagirdars were holders of land assignments in lieu of judicial and police duties, whereas Zamindars were holders of revenue rights without obligation to perform any duty other than the revenue collection. As I said, I'll not be discussing the answers, but still there is a tricky thing. See, in two statement question like this, Jagirdas and Zamindars, only to the questioners think as an examiner. The examiner can confuse you giving the right answer, or he can confuse you with alternating what is Jagirdar and what is Zamindar. So he can alternate the concept of Zamindar to Jagirdar and Jagirdar to Zamindar. So this is usually the concept. So sometimes we read it very superficially. We read certain things superficially. So you will only remember the statements when it is continuously read rather than this twist. So read the statement. Jagidas were holders like usually study in 12th standard, no, antonyms and synonyms. Sad, uh, sorrow, sad, sorrow, sad, sorrow, sad. Like this, you will be mugging up like this, sorrow, sad. So whenever it is as sorrow means sad, you will only remember that connection. If at all they are asking you sorrow means happiness, you will wonder, oh, is it sorrow or sorrow means happiness also? So that things you will not. That is the way your mind would have mapped the aspects. So instead of just think Jagirdar, read like this. Jagirdars were holders of land assignments in lieu of judicial and police duties. And read this also. Zamindars were holders of land assignment in lieu of judicial and police duties. If at all you have read this in NCRT, whether with the Jagirdar or Zamindars, you will call this statement suits better than this statement. So this is how your mind will work. Okay, so your mind, you have to see what is in your mind, whether putting Jamindars in the statement tells your mind that it is right, or putting Jagirdas in the mind tells you that the statement is right. So this is how you have to check what is there saved in your mind and then recall the facts. So this is very important for you. So like this, you can actually play with the thing and play with your mind and recall certain facts that is kept in your mind, but you are not able to understand because the question may be twisted. Okay, so that is very important. Then land assignment to Jagirdars were hereditary and revenue rights of Zamindars were not hereditary. So this two statement is both wrong. So actually it is interchanged. So that is the thing. So it is important for you to know this. So about this question, it is a history question from the basic NCRT, but the terms may not be defined. So you must know what is the Jagirdar and Zamindar as in the internet. Okay, fine. Fact or concept. So it is an old NCRT, not a new NCRT. So people, the questions, another analysis in this question is the questions are now shifted from old NCRT to the themes, that is the new NCRTs also. So the questions are now proportionately increased in the themes book also. So it is better that you learn old NCRT as well as the themes book of every of history. So it is better that way, because you must not lose any marks in your prelims. So you read both old NCRT and themes. Themes, it is very easy to read. So just for it is better you read themes first, have a note, make a note, and then study old NCRT. But stick to old NCRT for revision. Themes, you can just make a note of it and you can read. Okay, so I think you can buy a hard copy of old NCRT and do with the soft copy of themes. That is better, I think. So because a soft copy of old NCRT is not very good. So themes, you can have the soft copy. So not wasting your money. So do read both this. Okay, so now it is 80% question is here and 20% question is here, but this proportion may change with time comes. So as the time passes, so it is better for you to read both the things. With reference to land reforms in independent India, which one of the following statement is correct? The ceiling, so it is just the land reforms. Again, it is there in the NCRT. So NCRT history also it is there. And also it is important for you to learn this post-independence NCRT. There is the post-independence NCRT, which is very important for you to read, please. Because there is a syllabus, there is a syllabus in mains about post-independence India. So the one book uh, in NCRT is this post-independence, which you have to read. It is now being asked in prelims also. So it is very necessary for you to read this NCERT Post-Independence India for both your prelims and mains. So it is always an integrated learning that you have to make so that you will be able to crack these questions. So it is about land reforms in independent India. Which of the following is correct only? The sealing laws were aimed at family holdings and not individual holdings. The major aim of land reforms was providing agricultural land to all the landless. It resulted in cultivation of cash crops, permitted no exemptions to the ceiling limits. So this statement, the most appropriate answer is this, that is it providing agricultural land to all the landless. But here see, the options are very confusing. Actually, the land reforms, it is true, this is very wrong, but this is also true. Okay, so this is also true and this is also true. So the options are really confusing. So even in history based question, polity based question, the options are very confusing. So it is necessary for you to learn concepts properly, and you will not get this exact line in NCERTs like this, but the interpretation from the NCERT and the understanding that you have to imbibe is what will make you come to the correct answer. So say for example in polity we saw about the liberty definition. So liberty definition, there are a number of definition which is given in NCERT, but they are asking most appropriate. That most appropriate is not what given in the NCERT, but you have to understand which is most appropriate. So that is very important for you to know. So the strategy of answering is knowledge. Okay, fine. And here we also eliminated one thing. Okay, it is the direct questions only. Okay, it is a core question, static question. It is a concept question. The global competitiveness report. There is a, for the Kingmaker students, we have sent reports and indices PDF. So it is very important because it's all fact based. Whatever is coming often in news. Okay, and also which is very important, which is in current affairs, which is most often repeated, you have to have a look at it. But it's better to have a look at every reports and indices at a glance, and then pick out which is very important in that. And it is better you learn the odd man out. It is easier for you to learn the obvious thing, like see if it is competitiveness report. Okay, it is mostly connected with the economy, but here see the options are really confusing only. But we know that it is the World Economic Forum, because if at all you have learned basically what is the reports of IMF, World Bank, you will then understand that it is not these two. So cracking the question, there are two techniques. One, knowing that even in the Charter Acts, I told you this, knowing that it is present in one act, you will say this is not there in that act. Or knowing that it is not present in this act, you will know that it is present in some other act. So these two techniques also you must remember, and you must be able to crack this question. Consider the following statements about the Charter Act. Again, see Charter Act of 1830. So this is simple. I will I'll by heart all the provisions in 1813 Act, and I will see whether the 1813 Act is there. Is there any odd man out? I will say no. So the statement will be wrong. So that is how you will understand. But here see, there is the revenues of India are now controlled by the British Parliament. It asserted its sovereignty. Okay. It ended the trade monopoly. Yes. So like this, there are questions. Sometimes interpretation can also be asked, or direct provisions from the act also can be asked. So this you must remember. This revenue of India are not now controlled by the British Parliament is not given directly in the Charter Act of 1813, but it is what happened during 1813. So this is what you have to understand. So this you must remember. So the option is the revenue of India is now controlled by the British Parliament. It's not now. Okay, 1813, it is just ending the trade monopoly. So East India Company is only ruling now, not the British Parliament. So the revenues of India now controlled by the British Parliament. It is not happening in 1813. So the answer is A actually. So 3 statement is wrong. So you must remember all the provisions in 1813 to know that this provision is not there in the 1813. Again, facts. So we have seen most of the Charter Act. It is there in both polity as well as history. It is better for you to learn everything. With reference to the Swadeshi movement, this question is a little lot easier. So it is better you have attempted this question. So it is in spectrum as well as in NCERT. So then 56, consider the following pairs. See, the questions in history are very, very different. See, statement-based questions were asked, tabular match the following questions are asked. So the questions are very different. Actually, the match the following questions were mostly asked in history only here, because with the personality, with the organization, with the movement, they have come up with the match the following questions. So it is better for you to learn those personalities, organization, movement, the newspaper, the journals. So it is all in the spectrum, backside of the spectrum. It is very important for you to know those facts. So do read NCERT's themes, old NCERT themes as well as spectrum. And in the spectrum, it is better for you to revise the last minute, the personalities, everything that is mentioned in the backside. It is given in the journals, newspaper that is published. Everything is given in the backside of the spectrum. It is better for you learn. I think spectrum has gone with a lot of editions. The new editions, there are a lot of added information also. So have a look at it. So here elimination cannot help. See, self-respect movement as a Tamil Nadu student, you may know it is EVR, but still you have to understand this. It is better for you to learn the facts. Next, coming to this question, which one of the following is not a Harappan site? So this question, actually, this question is tougher only. But for the people, you have to have a look at the map, the Harappan sites in the Atlas actually, or Oxford Atlas, whether it is a Black Atlas, you have the historical maps of India. So please do have a look at them. In the India map, you have the resources map and all. You also have the historical maps. So the Harappan sites are usually mentioned in there. That is, Indus Valley civilization sites are all mentioned there. Then in the rock ages, the important sites, the Mughal Empire, everything. So please have a look at the historical maps also. And also, because world history will be learning in mains, you have the maps at the backside of the atlas. You have the German Revolution, German reunification, Italian reunification and all. So have a look at the map. You can draw it for mains as well as it will help you in like this question, for this question in the thing, because you just have to have a look at it. Okay, you need not mug up every Harappan sites there. Sometimes it will click you. So it is better for you to just look at those historical maps in the atlas. So here the answer is C. So I'm not discussing the answer. This is very factual question. So it is very confusing also. So you have to remember this. So just the technique is, please do have a look at the historical maps in the atlas. 58. When which of the following relief sculpture inscription is Rania Ashoka mentioned along with the stone portrait of Ashoka? So again, this is a factual question. Two questions like this. So it has put you in trouble. So if at all you're not a history student, you will be in trouble. But please don't be pulled off. These are only two questions. Other two questions you will have greater strength. So certain direct questions, if at all you don't know, please, it actually saves your time, right? If at all you don't know, fine. No wasting time. Just strike this question off and go to the next question. So it will not waste your time. That is a better thing than putting yourself and confusing yourself and recalling whatever you have learned. Okay, so that is a better thing. That is the positive side of those questions. 59th question. So it is about Buddha. So in the earlier webinars about the GS prelim strength analysis, where we have analyzed all the 5-year questions, we understand that there are a number of questions which are asked on art and culture about Buddhism, Jainism. So I have already shared the particular document, UPSC Prelims Trends document. So do have a look at it, which areas are often repeated in art and culture and all. So please, this Buddhism area is often repeated in the UPSC Prelims questions. So do have a look at it. But the question is going in depth. Say for example, here it is about Mahayana Buddhism. There are a number of Vajrayana Buddhism. There are there is another Buddhism also. So older, greater wheel and all. So you have to have a look at in depth in the about Jainism, about Buddhism and all. So it is the questions are becoming bit in depth in these areas which are often repeated. So areas which are very new or more superficial, and areas which are often repeated are asked in depth. So it is better for you to understand, study in depth if at all you are studying a known area. And if you are studying an unknown area, it is better you can stop with 4 or 5 facts in the superficial manner. But here you have to go more into that and study 10 or 15 facts into Buddhism. It is better. So that is very important for you to learn. So that is how you have to make notes and keep. So all the thing is right. So this is very good. Okay. But you will not know all the 3 is right. You will get confused whether there is a twist or not. So again, one more thing I wanted to say. Please don't overthink. Please don't wait for some twist every time in the questions. People see that there must be a twist, there must be a twist, it must be wrong, I think, it must be wrong, I think, it must be wrong, I think. But the UPSC also goes for all the 3 statements as right also. So please don't think that this is wrong. Don't keep your mind, don't be prejudgmental, don't be judgmental and think that this statement might be twisted or this statement might be wrong. So please do make your mind free and think about it and then go with the answer. And 68, with reference to forced labor Vishti in India during the Gupta period, which one of the following statement is correct? So this Vishti, again, it is a term. So you must know about the term. So the terms, the concepts, go in depth about it. Whenever you see a different word in the NCERT only, you just have to explore and keep the note of it. And I make a note in the side of my book itself. Okay, so that is a better thing. Or if you have a separate notes in a A4 sheet, do make it. So it is again a factual but conceptual understanding question. Which one of the following group of plants were domesticated in the New World and introduced into the Old World? Here, see, this question is a bit tricky only. What is New World? People may wonder what is New World and what is Old World. Okay, so New World, Old World is India. New World is America. America was recently discovered. I mean, in that past, it was recently discovered compared to India. So New World is America. So Old World is India and all. India, Eurasia and Asia. I mean Eurasia. So New World is America, American continents. So here, see which one of the following group of plants were domesticated in the New World and introduced into the Old World. So in America, it is domesticated and it is introduced into the Old World. So it is brought from America to the India. Say for example, we consider this America to India. See here, options actually you can eliminate. See here, this, okay, cotton, here there is a cotton, this you can eliminate because cotton is already there in Old World. Okay, so cotton is not there. Okay, so this elimination will help you come up with the first and second thing. But I am confused whether rubber is a indigenous crop of India or not. Okay, so rubber, but you remember rubber, Brazil, but cocoa again, Brazil, tobacco, you may have a doubt, but see coffee, again coffee and tobacco may confuse you to go with D, but the answer is A. So options you may have a confusion between A and D, but the answer is A. So this elimination and little knowledge can help you with A. Answer is A. So again, this question is little peripheral region. There's a lot of periphery region. You would have not covered this in in old NCERT, but here you have to just have a logic. few logics as well as elimination, and then come up with the right answer. Consider the following statements. This is environment question. Here again, you should have read the newspaper often to know that Asiatic lion is found only in India, because Gir forest is a wildlife sanctuary, and so we wanted to relocate a lion to some other place because Gir is overcrowded, and if at all a disease comes, the whole lion population will vanish. So that is how I know that Asiatic lion is present only in India. So these are the news that I came across. So I connect that Asiatic lion is present only in India. So having one as right, I eliminate this option. So like this, I eliminate certain things. One-horned rhinoceros, I know it is in both in Bhutan as well as in India. So again, having 3 as right, I will end up crossing this, eliminate this, and now it is 1, 3 or 1, 2, 3. So I just have to know what is to second statement. So second statement, double-humped camel is naturally found in India only. Naturally found in India only. So the question is like this. So my sorry, here it is wrong, sorry, I made a mistake. Here this statement is right, this statement is wrong, sorry, this statement is wrong. So I will end up, so third statement is wrong, so this is wrong, this is wrong, and one only is, so I will have to go with one only or two only. I already know Asiatic lion is naturally found only in India, so I come up with the right answer, sorry. So this statement is wrong, yes. So yes, I thought it is very simple, no? So this is very simple, I think. Although it's an environment question, repeated reading of newspapers and understanding of the environmental concepts and places, you will come to understand that question. And here, see, there are geography little tougher now. It is made little tougher because in the last or previous year prelims question, there was a tributary of Brahmaputra, and now see, they're asking the places and the rivers. So they're connecting the rivers and the places. This is really, really tough. I know for people who don't have many facts in their hands. So this is very important. Okay, so 63rd question, as you all know, this is a geography, but you have to know the map-based questions. That is, whenever the something is coming in newspaper, you should know the rivers also there. So that is very important for you. So Pandarpur, Chandrabhaga, that's correct. Richrapalli, Kaveri, that's right. But here, see, this is really a regional question. If you are a Tamil Nadu student, you will know this is right. If you are some other, you are from Maharashtra, you know this is right. So everybody has actually some strength and some weakness. So it is better, it is tougher for everybody. It is not tougher for a Telangana student, or it is tougher for Maharashtra student. So that you must remember, it is a fair ground only. So you must remember all these. In a given year in India, official poverty lines is higher in some states than in others, because it is purely presence of mind logic only. Official poverty lines is higher in some states than in others, because see, it is simply, you must know it is price levels only, because this is a logic that you will have to know. You need not read a number of books to know this. So it's just a logic. Only price levels will change, which makes it difficult for the poverty rates also. So here we will use logic again. This is a question which is environment based and also science based. So environment plus science, or environment plus geography, is the usual combination of question that is asked in the prelims. So here, see, in the context of which of the following do some scientists suggest the use of cirrus cloud thinning technique and the injection of sulfate aerosols into the stratosphere? So it is the stratosphere which is manipulated. So it is actually geoengineering technique to reduce the climate change. This you must know, but just have a logic. If you don't know about what is cirrus cloud thinning, sulfate aerosol, just see cloud thinning. With this word, you will understand why the cloud is thinned. Is it to create artificial rain? Artificial rains will be created only if the cloud is thickened. So this statement is wrong. And the tropical cyclones, cloud formation in tropical cyclones is no way related. Okay, and reducing the adverse effect of solar wind on the earth. Solar wind, again, thinning of the clouds will not stop the solar wind. Only thickening will do, and reducing global warming, this only will help, because the long wave radiation is have to go back to the space. So only then, so for that we have to thin the cirrus cloud. So that is how through logic you can come with the right answer. So even if you have knowledge, you can come with the right answer or the logic. So it is important for you to know the environmental techniques. Here on all, it is environmental techniques to reduce global warming. It is called geoengineering techniques. In the context of which one of the following are the terms pyrolysis and plasma gasification mentioned? Again, a scientific technology for environment only. So there are two questions which have combined environment and science. So again, the concepts also same. So the questions are literally similar in manner. At least two questions are similar. So here pyrolysis, if you don't know, pyre means fire. So it is firing. Plasma gasification, a conversion of gas. So here it is a little trickier only. The options are really confusing, but the answer is waste to energy technology. So here you may think that it's a natural gas extraction, but obviously it is not extraction of rare earth elements. Okay, so hydrogen fuel, okay, you may confuse with BCD, but the answer is D. So it is repeated newspaper only. Newspaper had this, and current affairs compilation also would have covered this. Okay, Agastya Malay Biosphere Reserve, a UNESCO site. So again, it was a news. So it is better for you to know in depth about Agastya Malay Biosphere Reserve. So mostly the environment questions are current affairs based, but environment goes with a combination of geography as well as scientific technology. This you must remember. But again, it is all in current affairs. Consider the following statements. See this, it is about species. Now there is, uh, as you understand the environment question is current affairs based, it is species based. There are some acts and rules question was also asked. Sometime international organizations could have been asked, but this time in 2019 prelims, they have not asked you, but so it is not asked. So here, and now the previous third, it is connected with science or it is connected with geography. So this you must remember. So some species of turtles are herbivores, some species of fish are herbivores. So because I went for a forest service interview, I learned what is the difference between turtles and tortoise. So I knew this question, knew this answer. So it is better for you to have a look at it. So some snakes are viviparous. Yes, we know that. So with the certain statement, this four statement question actually to help you in elimination. Lot of elimination scope is there in the four statement, three statement question, but not mostly in two statement, because two statement question, one only, two only, both one and two, neither one or two. So that is the option. So, but in this case of four statement, three statement and all, you can actually eliminate knowing at least one. So here fourth thing is right. So I will know that it is not A. So like this, I will eliminate, the scope of elimination is greater in case of questions like this. So this you must remember. So you have to know about the species also. Little information about the species is very important for you to know. What is the difference between turtles and tortoises? What is the difference between gharial and crocodiles? These are all I have learned because I went for the interview. So Asian, what is the difference between Asian elephant, African elephant, like this? And where is the Asiatic lion is found? Where is African cheetah is found? Whether it is what are the species which are extinct? Which are endangered. So it is better for you to just learn extinct, endangered, critically endangered. And beyond that, it will not be asked. Only if it is coming in the news, you can read. So make a list of endangered species, critically endangered species, extinct species as a whole. And then you can go with the vulnerable species and near threatened species and all. But vulnerable, there are a lot of things. Critically endangered, you have a short list, and endangered, little lengthy list, but still okay. So it is better for you to at least know critically endangered, extinct, so that you can eliminate that. This will not come as a critically endangered. It is in endangered or vulnerable. So like that you will be understanding. Stick to one particular thing by hearted, so that you will eliminate that it is not there in the other list. 69th question, wildlife naturally founded. Again, species based question. This is again a tabular column question. Sorry, I have not made this tabular column. So wildlife naturally founded. So bluefin mahseer, Kaveri river. Again, see, it's simple. One thing is Irrawaddy one. Will it be available in Chambal river? Irrawaddy is a river I know. Chambal is also a river I know. Okay, so it is wrong. So second statement being wrong, I will eliminate C and simply go with answer C. Simple. So actually elimination will help you in these questions. Sometimes you have to read it properly. Okay, Irrawaddy is a river, Chambal is a river. Irrawaddy river is in Southeast Asia. Chambal river is in India, in the western side of India. At least if Chambal is at least nearby this Irrawaddy river, you could have understood this statement would have been wrong. But it's totally in the different geography and different environment also. So it is not possible for Irrawaddy dolphin to be found in Chambal river. So answer is C. Okay, so it is eliminating 2. You will come up with the answer of 1 and 3. Simple. So environment questions, sometimes it will be handy with you with elimination technique and logic also. Why is there a great concern about microbeads that are released into the environment? So here again the options are really confusing. Great concern. Yes, all the things are a great concerns only, but great concern is the marine pollution. So again, this was in news. I think some Pacific Rim countries banned these microbeads which are used in the cosmetics of women. So that was in news. So this is based on that news. So you should have read the newspaper. But these are all coming. This will all come once in a news. So it is better for you to daily read a newspaper and understand that. Okay, coming to the art and culture question, Kalyana Mandabas, if you know it is Vijayanagar only. Okay, again Kalyana Mandabas, it is a, you must understand that this is a architectural part of art and culture question. So you have to remember all this. So which dynasty, which is the famous structure which was done by the which dynasty, you have to know. So this is again a factual question. So you have to read, actually this question is in themes only. So themes, art and culture questions, you have to write, just make a note. So themes you will contain historical question or history subject also, and art and culture subject also. So whenever there is an art and culture facts in the history, you do have to make a note, do make a separate note. 72nd question. It is about administration. As I told you, the questions can be about administration also. So in the revenue administration of Delhi Sultanate, the in charge of revenue collection was known as Amil. So the personality, the administrative positions are all asked. So Amil, if at all it is in NCRT, you should have understood what is that. Okay, ICTA system, Mirbakshi system. So these are the terms which are used in the NCRT only. So you have to know this, and it is better for you to just keep a note of it. 73rd question. It is a contemporary question. So this is very important, contemporary. So for history, you must know the dates, at least not the exact years, at least the centuries in which the both people were present. So knowing that this both the statements are wrong, so it is better for you to have a look at it. Okay, centuries. At least the centuries you have to remember. So contemporary based questions. So we have seen history based history questions are mostly conceptual understanding with the terms defined like Mirbakshi, Amil and all. And also you have the contemporary questions, and you have a tabular column based question which is giving organization, movement, personality, their contribution and all. So this is very important for you to analyze and see how the questions can be asked in the history whenever you're learning the NCRTs and themes. And history book, you have to also keep note of the cultural art and culture things and that. 74th question, with reference to the British colonial rule in India, consider the following statements. Here, I told you in the previous parts that one logic backfired. So here, this logic backfired. See this question. See the second statement. In Lord Chelmsford War Conference, Mahatma Gandhi did not support the resolution on recruiting Indians for World War. Did not support. I thought the statement should be right because Gandhi was a person for ahimsa, person who preached ahimsa. I thought, yeah, he would not have supported the Indians into the war because he does not like war. But the statement is wrong. So my logic, if at all I thought of this logic, it would have been backfired. So sub logic will not give you success. So it is better for you to not go with the logic. So logic, please use it as a last resort only. So it is very important for you to understand that. So consequent upon breaking the soil law by Indian people, Indian National Congress declared illegal. That is fine. So the answer is B. That is 2 is wrong. Okay. So if at all I would have marked D, I would have gone wrong. See again the tablet column based question. See person, position, health. So it is important for you to know about the personality, their contribution, their positions, the movement they organized, the organizations they opened and all. So it is important for you to know. It is there in the spectrum, the last part of it. With reference to Mian Tansen, this question is really good. Please do read this Friday review. Friday review, not everything you wanted to read in Friday review of Hindu. This Hindu with the Friday review, do only read only which is very historical matters, if at all, articles which are given this Hindu Friday review, or art and culture based matters which are given in this Friday review. Just have a look at it, only 2 pages, no? So 2 papers, no? So if it is better for you to just have a glance at this Friday review and to see that art and culture based questions or historical based question can be asked or no, and please make a note of it. So Mian Tansen was there in the March current affairs. That was given in the Friday review of Hindu newspaper. It was detailed. It was given detail about Mian Tansen. Who among the following Mughal emperors shifted emphasis from illustrated manuscripts to album and individual portrait? This is there in the CCRT. So CCRT websites. So for art and culture, our institute will be giving you the gist. Already three documents have been shared in the art and culture as a gist. So this gist will help you in the gist is like a tabular column which will help you with better learning. So instead of going for a big book like Nitin Singhania, this gist that is provided through Kingmakers is better. So usually you have to read CCRT and introduction to Indian art in part of Indian art part 1, that is an NCRT. So NCRT 1 is there, and then themes as well as in old NCRT history book itself you will have art and culture part. So it is better for you to go with history books, find out the art and culture part and make a note of it. And then if possible Nitin Singhania, if not please have a look at the Kingmakers art and culture gist. Who among the following Mughal emperors shifted emphasis from illustrated manuscript to individual album and portrait? Since actually I've read about Jahangir, I know this is Jahangir, but if at all you have read the NCRT itself, this question is you can crack it, not just CCRT. Even in the book, if you have read the normal history book itself, you would have understood because you know about each of these people. 78th question, it is about the national parks. So national park, again, this concept, again, it is related to environment and geography. See, national park is completely in the temperate alpine zone. So you must know the where it is actually in the map where it is and whether it is a temperate zone and alpine zone you must know. So it is neuro. So it is a for you to understand that it is so Neuro Valley is little different. You may not know Manas and Namdapha. You may know Valley of Flowers also. You know Neuro Valley. You may confuse whether Valley of Loss, you may know if you have understood that it is a temperate alpine zone, you could have made it right. So it is better for you to understand and remember that whatever is above Tropic of Cancer, it is all temperate zone. Okay, so India, most of the Uttar Pradesh and all, it is above the Tropic of Cancer, 23.5 degree north. So all these are temperate. And but alpine zone means it is must be in the hills. So near a valley, you may have a doubt. Valley. Again, these two options are really confusing. So you must know this presence of, I mean, the location of Neuro Valley. I have shared the 2019 answers. I have also shared the India diagram, which is having all the national parks. Do have a look at it. So I'll be sharing here. So sharing along with this video. So do have a look at this. The map. Okay. Atal Innovation Mission is set up under the. So this question, Atal Innovation Mission, is often in news and is also in Yojana also. So Yojana, it is better for you to read this Yojana magazine, which will help you in essay, mains, as well as in prelims. So Atal Innovation Mission is by Niti Aayog. This you all know. Okay, so the recent Niti Aayog, what are the things started by Niti Aayog? You must know. So this is really easier question, very easy question, but you should not get confused. Okay, it is a geography basic question. It is in NCERT itself. So we should not confuse. Just draw a diagram and see which statement is right and then come up with the right answer. Then it is about environment and geography related question. Again, agricultural soil releases nitrogen oxide into the environment. So this actually, the nitrogen for nitrogen oxides causes pollution. So this was all the resources of the sources of the nitrogen pollution. So this was all on news. So it is important for you to understand this. So cattle releases ammonia. This all you know actually. Okay, so it is not a big deal, but just remember, you may get confused whether agriculture soil cattle will release only methane or ammonia. You may have a confusion. So, but please don't think that this statement will be right or this statement will be wrong. So you must know little understanding about what is released in cattle, what is released in soil and all. It is in the current, it was in current affairs only. So 82nd question. It is about the three important places. So, so earlier, if you have understood any of one thing, earlier was a reservoir. If you have understood that earlier was reservoir, you could have concluded that it is D. So it is better for you to have a look at it. It is again was in news. So it was a common news only. 83rd question. See, the use of HCNG as a fuel for bases in public transport, consider the following statements. So it is very environmental question, which is very contemporarily used. So fuel, technology and all was to eliminate pollution, to reduce pollution is often in news. So you do have a look at it. But here I will go with a little logic also. Logic is, see here, hydrogen is fuel is less expensive. No way. Okay, hydrogen is not at all less expensive. So this statement I maybe I make it raw. I cross it. So this again. So I end up with two options. Again, if I conclude one is wrong or any two or three is wrong, and so see. As I said, four statement question, three statement question, there is a lot of scope for elimination. So here, see the elimination is little easier. Here, see, if at all, the main advantage of use of HCNG is the elimination. Elimination is mostly not possible. It can be a reduction. Okay. HCNG as fuel reduces carbon dioxide and hydrocarbon emission. Two statement is right. Hydrogen up to 1/4 of the volume can be blended with CNG as fuel for buses. This I have a doubt, but I know two is right and one may be wrong. So when I say two is right, I will go with this answer because the A option does not have two at all. So elimination, simple as that. help you in cracking most of the environment questions as well, because you have the understanding from the current affairs, from the things that you see. Why are dewdrops not formed on a cloudy night? This is there in the NCERT as well as in the Ho Cheng Long of geography book. So it is a direct question, so you need not confuse. Again, it is a conceptual understanding, so you must understand the concept how dewdrops were formed. Next question, 44th Amendment, 99th Amendment. So there are questions about amendment. So I have shared the polity highlights for the students of Kingmakers, highlighting all the important amendments that can be asked in the prelims question. So 44th Amendment. So here, see, there are in two statement question, there are 4 facts. One, each statement will have 2 facts. So this can be wrong or this can be wrong. This can be wrong or this can be wrong. Like this, there will be more facts within the 2 statements. So 2 statement question is little tougher only, but still when you understand, when you study, when you have studied all the amendments, it is better for you. And remember that 99th Amendment was not in use. It was considered as 124th Amendment. So 124th Amendment and 99th Amendment both are same. It is about the National Judicial Appointment Commission. So this 99th Amendment was withdrawn and 124th Amendment was the recently passed, but it is actually denoting 99th Amendment only. So you must know 99th Amendment and 124th Amendment are the same thing about NJAC. So that is very important for you to know. So it is again was often in news. This 99th Amendment was often in news. This is the static portion. So static portion as well as the current affairs portion is used in first statement and second statement. So it is better for you to learn like that. Okay, make a note of all the amendments that are recently passed along with the static old ones also, and read the important amendments. That is what I have given in the polity highlights material. 86th question, again polity. The motion to impeach Judge of the Supreme Court of India can be rejected by the Speaker of the Lok Sabha as per Judges Inquiry Act 1968. Again, this is actually a current affairs question because the Rahul Congress government pushed for impeachment of one judge. I forgot his name. So impeachment of judge, but vice president in the Rajya Sabha, and the vice president rejected that application itself. So it is a power of speaker as well as the vice president who can reject the motion itself. So that is what they have twisted this. Vice president of Rajya Sabha actually rejected the motion, but here they have said the power of speaker is there to reject. So here it's little twisted, but the concept is all same. So if you have read the news, you would have cracked this question. Constitution of India defines and gives detail of what constitutes incapacity and proved misbehavior of the judges of the Supreme Court of India. No, mostly the Constitution has not defined what is it. Okay, the details of the process of impeachment of the judges of the Supreme Court of India are given in Judges Inquiry Act. Yes. So it is from the Lakshmikant book only. So it is simple as that, from the Lakshmikant, but because it was in the current affairs, so you have to, whenever something is coming in the current affairs, do read the concept which is in the Lakshmikant or in the NCERT and have a look at it. The ninth schedule was introduced in the Constitution of India during the Prime Ministership of, so you must know when ninth schedule, it was through the first amendment. So first amendment means it should have been Jawaharlal Nehru. So ninth schedule, the corresponding amendment and the corresponding year, we will know the Prime Minister who was there. So it is a little tougher only. So this type of question is very new for the polity subject. So this question was also asked, so do have a look at it. So this questions like this can also be asked. Consider the following statements. So it is about coal. So this question is a little tougher only. So, but it was a news. See here. Again, you can use logic here. See, coal sector was nationalized by the government under Indira Gandhi. This may be right or may not be right. Now, coal blocks are allotted on a lottery basis. This was in news often. It was an auction basis and not lottery basis. So this statement is going wrong. So making me to strike off this B and D. So I will go with the option 1 or 3. So let me see. Till recently, India imported coal to meet the shortages of domestic supply. But now India is self-sufficient. No way. So answer is A. So this statement, though it is a little coal, seeing that the question is about coal, you may have frightened, but the question is easier with elimination. So please don't be afraid at all about any questions. Elimination, logic, knowledge, guess comes a very last thing. Knowledge, logic, and all will help you in cracking the question. And elimination, especially, is a mantra for success. I mean, 89th question. Parliament Prevention of Disqualification Act 1959 exempts several posts from disqualification on the ground of office of profit. Again, office of profit, this question was often, this was in news because of the Delhi parliamentary secretaries disqualified because they had the office of profit. So this was often in news. This actually that question, that the news was debated a lot many times in the newspaper. So above mentioned act was amended 5 times. This is a factual statement. This statement is very factual. You may go wrong because you may not have a knowledge. The term office of profit is well defined in the Constitution of India. As you have the 3 statement question. My elimination scope is very large. So here is not well defined. I know this. It's not defined at all. Office of profit is not defined. So this statement, third statement is wrong. So I will eliminate all these things and come up with this. Simple. So because term office of profit was not defined, this I know. Under which schedule of the Constitution of India can the transfer of tribal land to private properties for mining be declared null and void? So though this question is factual, the transfer of tribal land, tribal. So tribal mostly will be related to 5th schedule. It is not 3rd schedule. It may be 9th schedule also, because transfer of lands and all, maybe the law may be put in 9th schedule. So this 3rd schedule is eliminated, but I will have a doubt whether it is 5th schedule or 12th schedule. 12th schedule also will be cancelled because 12th schedule is about municipalities. So I will have a confusion between B and C, but since it is a tribal area, if you should if you are taking a risk, you will go with B. Okay, so that is how we will work. Recently, there was a growing awareness in our country about the importance of Himalayan nettle because it is found to be a sustainable source of. It is a textile fiber. Again, it is in use, but it is a little harder because it's a factual question. So, if at all you know, well and good. Otherwise, skip it. Please don't guess it. Skip it. For the measurement or estimation of which of the following are satellite images or remote sensing data be used. So this question is medium difficult only. Okay, so chlorophyll content, greenhouse gas emissions, land surface temperature, all these can be converted into IR rays, and this IR rays can be remote sensed. So this is all possible. So logic, knowledge will help you in cracking these questions. Consider the following states. See, choosing from many. With reference to the states mentioned above, in terms of percentage of forest cover, it is percentage of forest cover to the total area. Which of the following is correct? Ascending order. So remember, it is percentage and not the area. It is the ascending order, that is small to big. So this you must remember and then understand. Write 1, 2, 3 and then come with the right answer. Okay, so this is you must know the percentage of forest cover, little knowledge as well as little understanding of how the most of the cover will be. You will come to understand that order. Then about methane hydrate. So deposits of methane hydrate was in news. So you must know this methane hydrate. So methane hydrate. So if you just know what is hydrate, hydrate means water, methane means you know that it is hydrocarbon. So global warming might trigger the release of methane gas from these deposits. Okay. Large deposits of methane hydrate are found in Arctic tundra and under the sea floor. Methane is in the atmosphere oxidizes to carbon dioxide after a decade or two. All the statements are right. So this is a really uh, uh, basic understanding questions. You just have to read newspaper. That's all. This question little tougher because the burning of crop residue, what are the gases released is the question. So both mostly it have to be carbon monoxide, fine, well and good. Yes, it is. Methane, you may have a little doubt because methane may get oxidized into carbon dioxide and methane as such will not be released. So you may have a doubt. So ozone okay, sulfur dioxide okay, but methane you may have a doubt. So the answer is all the four. So it is not, you should not guess in this questions because see, but elimination, if you see, can it have a hope scope? See, one, you are very sure that it is one. So this B you will eliminate, and sulfur dioxide also, if you are very sure it is right, again you will end up with the three statements. So you have to check with three. Let's sorry, you have to check with two whether it is wrong or right. So again, you have to know. 96th question, again it is based on a map based question. So see at the bordering country, you should have read the map. There is exclusive webinar which is coming up, and also do have a look at the geography current affairs session which is there, which will be uploaded in the YouTube. So which is uploaded in the YouTube. So do have a look at it. So it is better for you to see the atlas again and again. Among the following, which one is the largest exporter of rice in the world in the last 5 years? So you may know it is, you should have you may have confusion between India or China. There is one more question about the largest area under rice cultivation. So see, there are two questions which are asking about rice. So it is better you learn about the agriculture survey. Do have a look at the agriculture survey, livestock survey and all. You read the analysis of the livestock survey, the agriculture survey. It's better for you to understand that. So the answer is India only. Here, see, again, map-based question, you should know. Siachen, you all know, often in news. So if you know Siachen, it is Nubra. You may have things like 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, the fourth statement is right. So you will end up with A or B, eliminating C or D. So A or B, you should know whether 2 is right or 3 is right. So 2 or 3 is right. Milam Glacier is in Mandakini origin, or is it Bara Shigri is Chenab River? If at all you don't know, please do skip this question. Otherwise, you can take a risk or skip this question because I don't know both. But Milam Glacier, I have a doubt. Milam Glacier, is it the Milam Glacier is mostly in the top, Mandakini River is in down. So I have a doubt, but still I will not attempt this question if at all, because it is all factual question. If at all I make it wrong, I make it wrong. So I don't, I will skip all these questions. I don't take risk in a very factual question. In India, the use of carbofuran, methyl parathion, phorate, okay, triazose is viewed with apprehension. These are chemicals used as, again, it will all be in current affairs news. So at least if you know any of this, recall any of this one of the chemicals, you will end up saying that this is a pesticide in agriculture. So it is better for you to have a look at the news. Ramsar Convention. Here little logic can also help you, or elimination will help you. See, Ramsar Convention, it is mandatory. Ramsar Convention is not mandatory. So I know this. Wetland. So again, coming with the options, I will eliminate this one and this one. I'll come up with B or C. So second statement, let me see. The wetlands rules are framed by the government of India based on the recommendations of Ramsar Convention. Mostly yes. So second statement is right. See the third statement, wetlands also encompass the drainage area or catchment regions of the wetland as determined by the authority. Yes, it is true. So the answer is B. So environment based question, we have seen that there are a lot of acts and rules which are being asked. So again, coming with the conclusion, do have a look at the analysis of the subjects. Analysis of the subjects from history, known areas but keen observation. It is from NCERT, from Spectrum, from themes, and as well as from other areas like Upinder Singh and all. Please do read this Upinder Singh book just because they asked you one question or two questions in that Upinder Singh, or any other historical books. Do stick with NCERT, do stick with the Spectrum, repeatedly read that so that you will eliminate other options whenever if it is asked in other books also. Geography more difficult in places but easy in concepts. Environment more on acts and rules combined with geographical locations as well as science. Art and culture known areas but keen observation. Just stick on to CCRT and CCRT websites and NCERT. If possible, study the Kingmaker's Gist. Economics, current affairs based and conceptual understanding. Polity, governance, fundamental definitions and conceptual understanding. Science and technology, it is mostly awareness based, like what is 4G, what is wearable device, what is the use of wearable device. So mostly what is coming in the news, it is asked. Current affairs, you have to read the newspaper every day, even before the day of the exam. Please do read the newspaper. Don't tell me that because this prelims has been postponed, they would have taken the question paper. Please do read the newspaper every day. So that can help you. And so hereby I end this session. Thank you. And for questions, you can comment below. Thank you.